Hollywood, California, Hollywood, Florida. Were they both named after a girl called Holly who put out a lot? Maybe. You might find out, and I don't know about that, with Jim Jefferies. See, because Hollywood, people go, oh, who's going to fuck me in this bar? Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
That's where it comes from.
All right.
They thought Hollywood, Florida was going to be another Hollywood, California. They wanted it to be.
Did they really?
Yeah.
They thought they were going to make movies there.
There was a water tower there that we used to drive by when I was younger, and it had like film rolls and this and that, whatever. And then when it didn't work out.
And Alyssa Lamb swimming in it.
and then when it didn't work out, they changed it to like birds and Florida stuff, like palm trees. They're like Hollywood, yeah. So,
we have a Hollywood Sydney. Oh no, we have a Broadway. No, there's a place called Broadway. In the middle of Sydney, they go Broadway, and it's not. It's got a couple of rub and tug bars and a chicken shop. That's what I remember. It has an Oporto and a Gallo and a rub and tug.
That Broadway is talking about broads as women, so they give you the rub and tugs.
Yeah, that's the Broadway.
That's the Broadway.
How is everyone? Do we all have a wonderful week?
Yeah.
We got over our depression episode. I listened to it back. It made me sad.
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. What was last week?
Aliens.
Aliens. That was never happened. That one never happened. You think it happened, but it didn't happen.
How does your butthole feel, Jack?
Did you get probed, Jack?
Oh, yeah.
Do you reckon an alien has ever taken anyone up into anything?
Why not?
Because it's ridiculous to think that they've taken people up into space and then dropped them back down.
Oh, I didn't say they dropped them back down.
Oh, I mean the people who tell the stories.
Oh, I don't know about them.
I also watched the Lisa Lamb documentary. Look, far be it from me to ever criticize Netflix. They've been wonderful to me. Wonderful. I love the Netflix. But fuck me, that documentary went too long. It was an accident. I could tell. They go, she's acting weird. And then later on the documentary, turns out she was off her meds. Oh, okay. Oh. And it turns out like the day before she was like living with other girls in a room. And then they were like, can you please get her out of here? She's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And then she went down the lobby and went, I'm crazy, but everyone in Hollywood's crazy. And then they go, wow, this was really weird. Why didn't they call the authorities? Because she was on Skid Row.
Yeah.
Everybody on Skid Row is walking around going, Hollywood. All your dreams come true in Hollywood. I know a place you can have a swim. Right? So that's what happened to her.
I didn't see it yet.
Yeah, I thought the storyline about her was the least interesting part, but I would watch a 10-part documentary about the Cecil Hotel.
The hotel was fascinating.
I want to hear every fucking story that comes out of that hotel.
And now they're making it into a fancy hotel. And whoever bought it for $29 million and then sold it for $80 million. So he didn't give a fuck. I'm assuming it's a he. I'm sexist. It just sounds like a guy's endeavor to buy a hotel in Skid Row. I don't know a lot of women who go, this is what I'm going to do with my money.
You're probably safe with that assumption.
Skid Row Hotel.
Ew. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Jack's face was very, I wouldn't like to do it. And I consider myself a woman in many ways.
Especially in my decor taste.
I wonder if you had money, Jack, how would you decorate? I imagine there'd be a lot of Grateful Dead teddy bear stencils on the wall.
Yeah, he'd be rich as hell, but still look like he's in college.
With tie-dye,
Yeah. And like a Lego room.
Ooh, now, okay, you can be my interior designer.
Empty bottles of Mike's Hard Lemonade just lying on
I
your
recycle.
bookshelves.
What are you talking about? That's crazy. I don't do that. I drink them.
What have you got for us, Jack?
Comment world.
It's hard.
Comment world, it's comment world. Reading comments off the internet in comment world. Opinionated fucks, well, we don't give a shit. So fuck them in the ass and let's be done with it. It's comment world.
So fuck him in the ass and let it be done with it. I think that was a Beatles lyric originally, wasn't it? That was off the White Album.
Yep.
So as we learned in our depression episode, the negative comments affect us greatly. FYI.
I wasn't affected.
Here's a 5-star review.
Okay, good.
It's good if you're into Jim Jefferies.
Oh, yeah.
If not, it's going to annoy you. But the whole team is pretty
That's
amusing.
like sex with me, to be honest.
And it's fun to listen to the banter. The granny love is a bit much. Sometimes you've got to listen to...
I think because Jim's always talking about the hot grandmas that we have on.
The granny?
Granny love.
Granny.
Our hot grandma guests.
Who was that hot grandma?
Heidi.
I see.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
like, I like the older women that
Yeah,
come on the
see?
show. I
There you
don't know. I've got myself a taste for that since coming on this show. I don't know where that's come from.
I like how this person commented too much, and then their comment sparked a new granny
exactly.
love session.
You bloody, we got the good sorts on. I tell you.
Since I see you guys look at the comments, I love the format of your podcast. It's perfect for how you do comedy. Your crew is fun too. And here's a fact you may be as elated as me to find out or be reminded of. Horse spunk is one of the most expensive liquids on earth.
Which leads us to our next episode. Horse
Horse
spunk. No, we can't afford that. We're doing donkey spunk, which is a lot cheaper. Of course, it's more expensive. Yeah, that would be the most expensive liquids in the world because you get a stud horse, a race horse. Their sperm is worth a lot. It's worth more than my bloody sperm. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
I know how much I can get for mine.
How much?
Just a fine.
Like, sir, why are you masturbating in this clinic?
Yeah,
Community service.
Yeah, stop mailing this to us, please.
This is an email we got, which we rarely get, so we're going to read it for sure.
We got it. We have an email account?
Yeah.
It's really something.
If you want to email us,
You can see where our budget goes.
it's idkatwjj@gmail.com.
Oh, wow. I wonder why we only got one email. Is there a dash and a couple numbers in there?
It's the acronym for I don't know about that with Jim Jefferies.
Oh.
It's very easy to fucking figure
Yeah.
out.
I don't know. It seems a bit much.
At Gmail?
At
Yeah.
Gmail.
Oh, okay, guys. Email us.
Like crack the code there.
I need Jim's famous math skills for this one.
All right, what you do is your 9-time table, you just drop a finger down and that'll tell you. You can go right up to 10, you can.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he asked. So we're
7
done.
times 9, 63, done.
How many sandwiches do you think you've consumed realistically in your lifetime up until this point?
What about unrealistic?
And then dealer's
do
choice
both. Do
on
both.
whether you'd include burgers as sandwiches here.
Yeah, 5 a week, 6 a week, 5 a week, probably 5 sandwiches a week. When I was a kid, I had a Vegemite sandwich, a peanut butter sandwich every day, every fucking day in my whole life. And so I'm 44
You gotta do
now.
the calculation.
17?
100?
Yeah, and so let's say 300 times by 40.
300 times 40?
300 times 40, yeah.
12,000 sandwiches.
12,000. I reckon 12,000
That seems
sandwiches.
low.
A lot of bread, a lot of gluten.
Yeah. And it turns out I'm intolerant.
Someone said, comment world. I laugh. That's about it. Keep doing what you're doing. Smiley face. Thank you.
All right.
Someone said that now that Jack is getting the hang of things and really taking charge of the podcast,
That's a good one. What's the next one?
I think he
That's a
needs.
good one.
I think. I think he-
trying to open mic. Oh, there you go.
I think he needs to have a role in grading Jim. Maybe 1 in 10 on how Jim has been a boss that week or how much of an asshole Jim's been. And
I
then
see.
someone follows up.
Jack, I got to get a 10 every week. I make you do about 4 hours work a week. Like, if I'm not a good boss,
Yeah, seriously.
fuck me.
And then someone follows up and goes, you want to hear more from a spoiled wiener kid of a Coke company owner? He said he's never had a Pepsi. That's fucking strange. Jack is pathetic and frail. So, the comments even out.
Yeah, that was from the Pepsi Corporation.
It's a Jim Jeffrey said that one?
Yeah, like what happens when you go to like Taco Bell? They only serve Pepsi. Do you just
Don't go.
He doesn't go to Taco
But
Bell.
you can still have a water at Taco Bell.
Just don't go.
Oh, yeah, no wonder you're miserable.
Yeah.
Bloody Taco Bell's wonderful.
Look, I've had it on occasion, but that's a secret.
Oh, don't tell anyone.
I know. Hey, shh. This is between all of us. Okay. This comment says, Forrest, when he speaks, is like a teddy bear running out of battery power.
That's true.
That's a good one, yeah.
That's a good one.
That was just kinda nice.
Like Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah.
Like it starts off like, I love you.
Now it's like,
Let's go play games.
hug me.
Oh, I thought it's because I trail off. Apparently, a lot of people say I trail off on this podcast, which is weird. I used to do that when I started stand-up, and then I just didn't. So maybe it's something I need to work on here.
Well, I think it's something that you always.
Yeah. That's my game.
There we go.
Yeah, that's me.
I do that when I have important information.
Yeah. I do it. I guess I do it on when I'm doing the question.
It's making me anxious. Can we move on, please?
People really enjoyed our depression episode. They liked us opening up and telling about our struggles. People were even supporting each other in the comment section. When someone else said they had depression, people were like, hey, man, I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah.
It's the most positive I've ever seen a comment section, except for the week before it.
Except for the bloke.
Wait.
Except for the bloke
The
who
week
went in the
before it
comic
was?
session to advertise his rope company.
People did not like the astrology episode.
That one wasn't positive.
That was depression, very positive comments. Astrology, very negative
That's
comments.
funny. I didn't know that the astrology one was negative.
Oh,
Well, we have
so
I
weird.
went on Ricky's astrology podcast. I know less now. I know less about astrology.
We're going to have a special segment of Comment World, which is Forrest Fights Back.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, I do remember that people didn't like the
Yeah,
astrology
yeah.
episode. Yeah.
So I'm just going to read the first comment and how Forrest
I don't
responded.
feel like I want to say I didn't feel like I fought back. I just was like
he
everyone
trolls the comments.
People were upset like we did astrology and they were making analogies to the fact that they just stormed the Capitol and this is the kind of stuff that I was like, come on, this is a bit much and stuff and
Yeah.
disinformation and stuff. I was like, I don't feel like anyone on here, maybe Kelly, I'm not sure, but I don't want to speak for you.
We
but
wanted to interview someone who stormed the Capitol, but no one was allegedly
Yeah.
there.
I don't feel like we were like astrology. You got to believe it. We're just talking about it. Everyone, like not everyone. A lot of people liked it, to be fair, but then some people lost their shit. On
I
it.
had multiple friends text me going, "What's the fuck is up with the comments?" Jim's calling it BS the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like and people were like, "Jim's peddling this snake oil salesman." It's like, he said it was fucking BS.
But the thing is, it still exists.
It still exists. It's a
It's out
So
there.
thing.
if we want to do an episode on unicorns, right? And we say, when were they originated? How many people believe in them? What was the first unicorn? Was it in a bit of book or something? You can't go and just go, unicorns don't exist. They do exist in the hearts and minds of children. And that's what happens. Astrology exists in the hearts and minds of people who believe in bullshit.
There are people that believe in it, and people that. But I don't know if I would go with the argument that it could be harmful. I mean, I feel like.
No,
People were like, oh, but some people say cancers are blah, 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 and then you're a cancer and people treat you differently. Well, okay, don't be friends with that person then, I guess. But
Yeah, there's nobody that's going to be persecuted for their fucking zodiac sign. Like wars will not be
sure we'll
started
get more
because you're a
comments
Virgo.
on this, though.
I don't know.
I'm sure,
I don't
yeah.
know. The Nazis tried to get a whole lot of people, all the Tauruses.
So
There's a little known thing about World War II. The Tauruses were fucked. Hitler saw that the moon was in retrograde. And he was a Scorpion. You know those two don't get along.
Definitely not.
fucking Poor Tauruses. So anyways, I used to do this on the Jim Jefferies show. Instead of like trying to go in there and be like, fuck you to everybody, I used to just be super silly and positive and weird and stuff. And still people didn't.
Well,
didn't
do you
take
remember
the
the first thing we did is we created an entire email back to people
Yeah,
who
yeah.
sent us shitty messages.
Telling them they're
Basically,
going to be in the
he's
fan
saying,
group. Yeah.
thanks for signing up for the Jim Jefferies fan club. You'll get new information weekly. And people would be like, stop, unsubscribe.
This was on the show, and I didn't know this because at the time I was in the digital department, I was in the writer's room, but apparently my comments would get read in the writer's room. So I was like, all right, well, I'm entertaining people, so yeah. But
This first interaction, the first comment was sent by a guy named Z Zucker Zusat ZZ. And he goes, well, that's retarded. Going as far as splinkling, and he goes something negative. Forrest responds, your name is dumb. Get a new one, please.
All right, well, ZZ, top yourself.
And then someone called out Forrest for being a jerk. And then Forrest goes, nah, I said the name was dumb. He seems okay. I do need to get a life, though. Very perceptive. You must be an Aries rising. Can you please help me with this? Seriously, I have no friends and you seem pretty cool. Maybe we can get to talk via WhatsApp. Get to know each other. Is that cool with you? Thanks for helping me get on track. I love you.
That guy's clearly a Pisces. And,
yeah, that was me writing that.
Oh, right.
That was me writing it. Yeah, Sagittarius all the way. No?
Someone goes, funnily enough, Richard Dawkins made a pretty good program about debunking this nonsense. And Forrest goes, that's not funny.
you never watch Richard Dawkins for the laughs, do you?
And then someone's like, who decided to make this book? And Forrest goes, group effort. We just decided that we should keep things positive. Find ways to make ourselves better individuals, and then we can help make positive change in our own communities. Going forward, the podcast will only be about astrology. I think everyone will really like it. Be blessed. We are all children of the stars. And then someone made fun of him, and he goes, good zinger. Are you an Aquarius?
Yeah, fun times in there. So we're back on track, everybody, with depression. Hope everybody's okay with it.
All right, are we ready for some ads? Or you got any more for us, Jack?
I have one last funny one that really made me laugh. Someone goes, to all the astrology believers, I've got a bridge in Brooklyn for sale as well. And Forrest goes, how much is the bridge? It's not for me. I'm helping my uncle find one.
I forgot about that one.
If the bridge is in good shape and the price is fair, I will let him know.
I never saw that one.
I forgot that one. That's a good one. Funny.
Yeah.
Fuck, these are making me laugh so
I'd
fucking
like to
hard.
buy a bridge, but I have nowhere to put it.
I've already got a bridge. We got another bridge.
Yeah, I'd like to buy a bridge just so I can burn it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the end of that. Jack's crying.
Oh, Forrest makes me laugh so hard.
Yeah, God. Well, you should go on his podcast. AMP Human. AMP Human is a human performance company dedicated to helping athletes such as myself, Kelly, Forrest, and Jack at all levels to unlock their limitless potential. Oh, that counts me out. I have a lot of limited potential.
There's a ceiling.
I have potential, but it's limited to all fuck.
Yeah.
Their latest innovation, D+ lotion, is the first of its kind gel-based lotion that delivers vitamin D directly through your skin. Wow, wow, wow. Through your skin. With limited sunlight during winter. What? This is science. There's limited sunlight during winter and more time indoors. I have been spending more time indoors. It's like these people know me. There's never been a more important time to supplement with vitamin D. Just 2 pumps, pump, and it squirts out of the bottle. Apply to the inner forearms, contain 5,000 IUs of vitamin D3 to boost your immunity, improve sleep quality, and support brain function. Backed by 2 times clinical trial, it is proven to triple your vitamin D levels within 3 to 4 months of daily use. Say goodbye to pills. Bye-bye, pills. And say hello to D+ lotion. Hello, lotion. The easiest way to do vitamin D. You know, I would love to do vitamin D. Saucy little vitamin D. Visit amphuman.com/IDK and use the code IDK15 to get 15% off. That's pretty good. That's probably why it's IDK15.
Yeah, that's a good.
Off your D+ lotion today. We thank you, Amp Human, for sponsoring our podcast.
All right, let's welcome our guest today, Steve Lukather.
G'day, Steve.
Hey, how's it going, Jim?
Good, man. We all know who you are. We don't have to do the guessing game. Read a book by its cover.
Well, let me give you a proper introduction then. Steve Lukather is an American guitarist, singer, songwriter, arranger, and record producer, best known as the sole continuous founding member of the rock band Toto. As a prolific session musician, has recorded guitar tracks from more than 1,500 albums, representing a broad array of artists and genres. He has also contributed to albums and hit singles as a songwriter, arranger, and producer, such as Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, Richard Marx, Chicago, Donna Summer, and Boz Scaggs. Nominated for 12 Grammys, he's won 5, and in 2012 started touring with former Beatles drummer Ringo Starr.
Heard of him?
Yep. And his new solo album, I Found the Sun Again, comes out February 26.
1,500 records, Steve. I don't think I've done that many comedy gigs. That means you must have done shows on top of that. So that seems like a fair amount. What drives you to actually do that? That seems moronic to do that many albums.
I was a kid, I was a teenager when I started doing this. So there was so much going on. It was so exciting. Single guy being, following my dreams in the studio. And the next thing you know, I was in the studio doing 20, 25 sessions a week, plus being in a band. So I didn't really have time for much else.
No. I always think that about, because before Toto, you were a session guitarist, right? Do you look at I love Oasis, right? You might have your own opinion on it, but they were a bunch of kids from school who weren't very good at their instruments. Noel was or whatever. As a session guitarist, you play with Michael Jackson and stuff like that. Do you ever look at bands that just come together and they all met in high school and go, that guy's fucking shit, but he's in you too? I
was playing in bands since I was 11 years old, so I know all about that. When I got to high school, it got more serious because that's when I met the Carl brothers and me and Michael Landau, famous guitar player. We were in that band, and Jeff Carl, the drummer, was in Steely Dan when we were in high school, so we knew the bar was pretty high. So we were all studying music at that time. We were all teenagers, and by the time we were out of that, we were doing demo sessions for people and before machines and all that stuff. We used to hire musicians to play. Sort of like the minor leagues for session players.
But
I got bumped up, you know. I mean, this job doesn't exist anymore. So
How do you meet those people when you're 11? When I was at school, I couldn't even find other people who were funny. You know? like it wasn't until I was a comedian I met other funny people. I'm like, all right, these are other funny people.
Right.
And to all the people I went to school with, none of you are funny. You weighed me down.
I was a bit freakish because, you know, when I was doing it in the 60s, there wasn't a lot of young guitar players. So I was a little more freakish at the time. Now I'm just weird and freakish. You know?
What's our specialty subject, Forrest?
So we're going to talk about music production and what goes into creating an album. And I guess the first question would be, can you walk us through the process?
Can I walk you through the process of what?
And Steve, you're going to have to correct him.
How to make an album?
Yeah, how to make an album.
Yeah. What do you do first?
Well, you write the songs first.
Okay.
Yeah, you write the songs. Then you show up to the recording studio. You go, I got a song, right?
Uh-huh.
Then you got to get a producer.
Just show up?
No. You got to know people. You don't just fucking show up. You got to know a couple of people. So what happens is you write the songs. You might just be strumming along and you know it acoustically, that type of stuff. And then you got to get a good producer onto it, right? You get someone like your Quincy Jones or whatever, or George Martin or something like that.
Mm.
And one of these people who comes along goes, oh, that'll be good. We could put another bit through here and a string bit through here and pull that thing. And then each person records their bit individually. Right. Mm-hmm. So the bass records their bit, their thing, and then they try to mix them and put the levels all different and stuff like that.
Levels different.
Yeah, they do all that type of stuff. And then I imagine, they move those knobs. All those knobs do different volumes, and they put everything, and then they try to put it all together. And then sometimes the song is won or lost in production. Mm. It's the same as casting for a movie. It's whether you get all those components right. And then I assume, like, you know, when the Beatles were recording, like Ringo put down his drum thing and then he was just like this, and now I'm just going to go off to the pub, everyone. Like, I imagine that's what happened. He's like,
that's not what happened, man. They played all live.
The Beatles did do it live though, right? Because they did the first album they did in one day, and that's why Twist and Shout, John Lennon's voice is so hoarse. Because at the end, it was just like he was just screaming.
Yeah, they did like side one a day, side two a day, and there was no overdubs, or if they did, there was like they just had to transfer it live. Like if there was a tambourine or a double vocal, they had to do it live and just transfer it to another 2-track machine. Before there was a lot of multi-track recording.
Yeah, but then George brings in the bloody sitar and they go, oh, we can't do this live.
I mean, they were making records differently. There were more tracks and they were a little more experimental because they knew they didn't have to play it live, so they didn't care.
What about all the knobs Jim's talking about?
There's slidey knobs and there's turny knobs.
Yeah.
It's the same thing over and over and over again. It does the same stuff to each track because each track has a different sound on it, a guitar, a bass, or drums, or cymbals, or keyboards.
So what effects usually is that board controlling?
Well, you can put any kind of effect in it, usually reverb, or, some sort of a delay unit or something like that is usually what goes in there. Most of the time, unless during mixing, it might be different.
Now, be honest, when you look at those soundboards with all those knobs, no one's using all of them, are they? Like, there's one bloke who knows how to use all of them.
Not that hard because it's just the same. You learn one of them and you got them all. They all do the same thing. It's just for different tracks.
All right, I just think I'm overpaying Luis is what I'm trying to get to.
That's another story.
Oh, wow.
When we first started doing records, everything we were doing was live. We'd overdub and then produce the hell out of it. But like the basic bass drums, guitars, and keyboards were all done live.
All right.
Oh, okay.
That's the way we used to make records for everybody. It wasn't until Pro Tools and all that stuff came in, where towards the end of this, the end of the 80s or beginning of the 90s, people started doing things one guy at a time for whatever reason, whether they could play the track all the way down one time, or it was to isolate each track so they could mix it differently.
Yeah. Do you know what Pro Tools are, Jim?
What?
Pro Tools.
Pro Tools?
Yeah.
No.
I thought you were going to try and guess on the
there's something you eat so your gut's balanced?
No.
Oh, man, it's just a big digital tape recorder, really. You can do a lot of things with it. You can cheat a lot with it, too. There's a lot of toys like Melodyne that can make you sing perfectly in tune, or line up all this. You could take the tracks and line them up on a grid to a click track and make everybody sound perfectly in time. So these days you need a laptop and a celebrity and you can make a hit record.
Or the other pro tools are a purse to collect the money, condoms, and some mace.
Now, you've been in the music industry since what, the 70s, right?
Yeah, I've been doing this professionally for 45 years.
Okay. So then what do you think is the biggest change that you've seen in terms of the production? Obviously Pro Tools is a big thing, but
Well, I mean, that's a great tool if you use it as such, but if you use it as an excuse, then, like, can you sing that live? Can you actually do that live? Does it sound like that
Right.
live? That's another question. Some can, some can't. But I don't know. The difference is the level of entry is different. You used to have to work really hard and go in the clubs and send in demo tapes, get turned down, play and refine your stuff, your band or your music, playing in front of high school dances and all that stuff. And you get that reaction. You get the chops of building up playing 3-4 sets a night. And then when you did get into the recording studio, you had some sort of idea, level of playing that you knew you could pull it off. And they had demo sessions for guys. You can go and make $25 to play on somebody's demo or something like that. So you got practical experience of being a session guy without the pressure. So like then when you moved up to the real leagues, that's when the pressure started up and all that.
Mhm.
So you had to be used to playing under pressure with the red light on, everybody going, there's just a chord sheet here. Let's count off the song. So you better play something. That's basically what we did.
Mhm.
I think to draw a parallel to stand-up comedy was like that when I started out. You had to start off by going to clubs, getting on stage as much as possible. Clubs.
Right.
And then it's sort of, in America, it used to be you tried to hone your 4 minutes so you could get on Letterman or Leno and all that type of stuff.
Mhm.
And in Britain, you had to try to get an hour length so you could go to the Edinburgh Festival. And now everyone tries to get, for a while there, we all tried to get an hour of material so we could get a Netflix special
Right.
because that became the new thing to strive for. And now I feel it's gone the other way. People are fucking doing TikTok and all this type of bullshit. They're never getting live. They call themselves comedians and they're doing little shitty videos.
Yeah.
And now I sound like an old man.
No, I was actually thinking the exact same thing when he was talking about it, because now you can just get famous off of, when Vine was around and YouTube.
The whole famous thing is weird to me.
Yeah.
I want to be famous. Well, what do you want to be famous for? Like, well, I don't know. I just want to be famous. I want to have my own clothing line. I mean, used to be fame was something. It was a byproduct of something you did that was meaningful or successful, that connected with people, and you got the fame by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, fame is like they always say rich and famous, and it's very hard to get rich without the fame.
Yeah.
No one wants to be poor and famous. That sucks dicks. I'm telling you, poor and famous is the worst.
That's one on the ride down.
Oh, there's that guy.
I know my career's reached its peak and it's on the way down because I'm starting to play those other rooms that I used to play on the way up again. I'm like, oh, it's good to see you again.
Well, Pete's like, do you want fries with that burger?
Is there a song that you didn't play on, but the first time you heard it, you went, holy shit, I wish I had been on that song?
Billie Jean.
Oh, you didn't play on Billie Jean?
Oh, I played on Beat It, Girl Is Mine, and Human Nature.
Ah. I did the bit in The Girl Is Mine where Michael and Paul seem to have a chat. How much did you cringe in that recording? So when Michael said the term, I'm a lover, not a fighter, did you chuckle just a little bit and then just go, I'll get back to me riff?
I mean, as they were singing live, I may have bit my lip a little.
Because Michael, here's the thing, like that girl's mine. Well, Paul, I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Here's the thing. We got the call from Quincy we're going to do the duet with Paul McCartney and Quincy and Michael Jackson. Me and Jeff McCarroll went, holy shit. So Quincy sent us over the cassette of the demo. And we were going, this is going to be insane. You know what I mean? Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney, well, this is a very interesting meeting. And this is a song. I heard Michael wrote it or something like that. So we got it. And we were all excited, rolled the joint, got all ready to fucking dig the track. And we put on the song and we started cracking up. Doggone Girl Is Mine. I mean, really?
That's right. The doggone girl.
But, a lot of these things that we played on, we had interesting feelings about, and we were wrong. Those cases. Now, but when we were there, when Paul and Linda showed up, they came into the studio, and they were just such the warmest, nicest people. Michael came in, we put the phones on, we started jamming on "I Was Made to Love Her" by Stevie Wonder. And that was roasting. Somewhere that's on tape somewhere. I don't know where. That loosened everybody up, and then we took this song, we tried to make it as good as we could, coming up with parts.
Now, on your new album, what's the name of the
I'm sorry, I got it right here.
I found the sun
again. I found the sun again. I thought I found the sun again was my favorite track on the album. So this was my favorite track on the album, and that's written about your girlfriend, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, did you also write Rosanna?
No, I didn't. That was
good. That must be awkward. Every time, like whoever wrote Rosanna, every time they get on stage, their wife must just be like, "You sing the song about your ex-girlfriend again." People want to hear it.
Unfortunately, that's not the case.
That's not the case?
No, that's not the case. A lot of these names were made up or a compilation of people.
I
promise you, I'll never write a song with a girl's name in it again. I'm writing songs like Stan and Morty.
Yeah, come to think of it, Paul McCartney never does that, does he? Whenever he writes a song, it's always "Me, Shell My Bell," and then he's married to Linda for 40 years. There's never a song called Linda comes out. There was one about vegan burgers.
Yeah, not a lot of stuff rhymes with Linda.
Yeah.
Belinda?
Yeah.
Throw her out the window.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. My mom's name's Linda, so my bad.
What else is up, guys? What else are we going to bag on now?
Yeah, who else? Well, so speaking of, then, can you take us kind of through the process of putting an album together, and even if it equates to a real life story that you have?
I mean, there's no wrong way to do it as long as you're making music. I mean, the Stones did "Street Fighting Man" off of a player of Keith's demo. He just played to that.
Oh, really?
So that's where you get that wild guitar sound. No, man, the way we did it was we'd just go out there and the four of us would get the rhythm section track, and then we'd start overdubbing on a double a guitar part, add another keyboard part, add a tambourine, start putting a few other little bits and pieces on it. And by the end of the day, it sounds kind of like a record without vocals.
How collaborative was your guys' songwriting process? Was there somebody that was like mainly in charge of?
Well, at first it was David Page, our leader, along with Jeff and Carl. At the time, I was a teenager at the time when I joined the band. And he was writing such great songs, but he encouraged us all he'd hear us sticking around the piano or guitar and go, "That's a great riff, you should finish that." Mm-hmm. So he encouraged us all to step up. So by the third, fourth album, we were all contributing our own songs.
Did you prefer the studio to the live work, because being a session guitarist, or was the live work just as exhilarating?
No, the live, you know what it's like to go out in front of an audience, man. There's nothing like it.
I prefer it. My studio comedy albums aren't as good.
You're interjecting with the people, but I equate it like this. It's like making a record is like painting. You can step back and look at it and come back the next day and fix it, start over. And live playing is like Formula One. You bang into the wall, you got to keep going. Now, so that's a different kind of excitement.
Did you tour with Michael Jackson and everything when you did just the studio?
No. We just did the studio. I did a bunch of all the Quincy stuff at that time, like 5 or 6 albums in a row.
Because it always felt like every time Michael Jackson had a guitarist, they had like a mohawk or some big type of hair or something. There was always a
Hey, I resemble that. I don't make my hair look like this, dude. Pajamas for a fucking year, you know.
Where do you keep your Grammys? Do you put those by the front door? I have a common.
They're over the bar area thing, you know.
I got a commendation from the mayor of Miami bragging. And because when I used to have a job that was sort of dangerous, and we saved somebody's life, and I don't know what to do. That's kind of weird. You don't just hang it somewhere, like to be like, hey, so I actually put it in the guest bathroom. So if you sit down to take a shit, you look at it and you have to read what happened.
I have.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
No, I was going to say, so you were the anal retriever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I won Comedian of the Year at Montreal, and my trophy, for some reason, it's got the best weight. I keep it in my house to club people if they break in. I just think, like, if you've ever held like a Grammy or an Oscar or anything like that, they've just got such a lovely weight to them that there is going to be one day that a stalker's going to break into a celebrity's house and be clubbed to death with a Grammy.
Looks great. It looks great in the headline.
Yeah, they're gonna have like a gramophone fucking indent in their forehead.
Exactly.
I've tried to get a Grammy several times because there's always best comedy album. So every time I
Come you have it, man. You deserve this
I'm
shit. fucking
with you, man. What happened? The Bear was a good special. It had the gun control thing, and then
The thing was outrageous. That was a fantastic bit.
Thanks, mate.
That. Now, here's the deal. Who would you lose to?
Well, every year it goes to Dave Chappelle. So you happen to get the Grammy, you have to bring out a record of your special. So every year, and you have to make 1,000 copies. So my garage is filled with thousands of copies of my different specials because I've always wanted to qualify for a Grammy.
I don't believe
I don't even know where you sell them. I don't even know where to give people my comedy albums. But you know, if you ever come over to me house, Steve, I'll give you a fucking 4 or 5 of them. You can give them to all your friends. All the Toto can fucking have a copy of Bear and Freedom.
You like that? Tell them at your gigs, man. The swag.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. It's my birthday this week, so I bought myself a toilet from Japan called a Toto toilet with the self-flushing. Did you ever try to sue them, or have you used the toilet and gone, these are outstanding? Do you have Toto toilets?
I have a Toto toilet. Nothing cleans the prune out like that bad boy.
It cleans you all the way.
No, they actually had we didn't know that there was a Toto Toilet Corporation until it was too late. I mean, the name of our high school band was Still Life, and I thought, that's a great name. We should keep with that. And Jeff and David were adamant about changing it to Toto and started writing it on all the tape, the tape boxes. And I'm just like, guys, are you sure you want to do this? Well, okay, first album just ships, and we get a postcard, not a postcard. We got something in the mail from Tom Scott, famous sax player who was in Japan playing at the Blue Note or something like that. And this was 1978. So he sent us a Polaroid of a Toto toilet with his shit floating. Nice name. Like this. I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
My band's name as a kid was Urinal Trough.
Everything's a Toto toilet. So I just laugh at it and go, I got to have one. I have to have one.
They're good toilets. They're
good.
You can say what you want about the Japanese, but they make a hell of a toilet.
Wow. Actually, I love Japan. I go every year at least once since 1980. I got a lot of projects over there I do, besides the Toto stuff and Ringo stuff. I just love the people and the whole vibe over this. It's been really hard to be locked up in a house and do nothing for a year. I mean, I used to be on the road 220 days a year.
Am I correct? I think I know a bit about the Beatles that they when they went to Japan, the word Ringo means means apple. The word Ringo means apple in Japanese. Do you know about this? And then they opened the Apple company. It doesn't.
That one.
It's true.
I'll ask him. I'll call him later.
There was another. This might be urban myth, right? That in China or Japan, the second highest rated show ever was the pilot episode of Joni Loves Chachi, right? Because it turns out that the word chachi means penis. And everyone looked at their TV guide that week. Joni loves cock. Oh, buddy, at 4:30 in the afternoon. I might turn this on and see if it's any good.
All right,
I love shit like that. That makes me feel good inside.
Let's take a quick break.
If you're like me, sorry about that. Sorry, you must be struggling.
Are you sad?
Yeah, don't do it. If you're like me, you start thinking what to eat for dinner while you're eating lunch. I love food. I can hardly wash myself. But sometimes getting into my kitchen can be difficult. Very narrow. And cooking something delicious to eat just doesn't make it on my to-do list. That list isn't that long.
To-do list. Don't kill yourself.
Mostly I write wake up and I never complete that list. Which is why Postmates. That's what we're talking about. I fucking love Postmates. Saves me from getting out of the house and getting vitamin D. I just sit inside all day.
It's funny how you were talking about something you didn't know what it was about yet. It's weird.
That's how the ad reads. Stay fresh, kids.
It's just like our actual podcast. He has no idea what he's going to be talking about before he picks up the
I
paper.
approve of the ads, but I don't know which one I'm about to read. With Postmates, oh, God, I love Postmates. You get food delivery without leaving your house. That's one of the big bonuses. Or even opening your door.
The contactless delivery is great.
It used to be a fucking misery, didn't it?
Yeah.
You'd have to talk to them and then hand you the bag and then they'd notice. They go, you're the comedian, right? You go, I've got to give a bigger tip now. They've recognized me. They've recognized me and they know where my house is.
Do you have a secret Postmates name?
No.
Oh.
Not that I'd tell the public. What do you think, I'm fucking mad? Without opening a door, with current state of world in mind, Postmate created no contact delivery. So now, when I order my local restaurants, everything gets left on the doorstep and the app tells me when it's been delivered. I watch the car all the time. I'm very critical of people's Postmates driving.
Yeah.
If I see them driving and then the car turns around, I go, moron! I get on my phone.
Yeah, you're like, you're going the wrong way.
Stop driving around in a circle. It could be the app and the phone that's just switching the car around. But
probably.
I go, you're doing donuts at the intersection. Postmates offers a pickup option, which I have been using to order takeout from my favorite local restaurants. It's so important we support and uplift our communities right now. And what better way than ordering food? That was my protest.
Jack does the pickups.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. During every protest in the last 2 years, I've been at home ordering food. That's my silent thing that I do. And Postmates isn't just all burgers and sushi. Fucking hell, it could just be burgers and
Yeah,
sushi.
it's
That's
fine with
high
me.
and low and everything. Okay, it's everything. You can order even toilet paper to phone charges from stores like Walgreens and 7-Eleven. And Postmates will drop it right outside my front door. 7-Eleven, eh? When do they go? That used to be the hours the store was open.
Right.
And they're a 24-hour store. And they used to be open from 7 to 11. They thought that's a good name for a store. As they expanded their hours, they never changed the name.
I don't know. It's catchy. It's also Jack's birthday.
Why wouldn't you change it to 24/7?
Oh, wow.
That's good too. Just download Postmates on iOS or on Android. You got an Android out there? Hey? Couldn't afford it, could you? Find your favorite.
Jesus.
That's a bit mean-spirited. No, you're doing good. And get anything you want delivered within the hour. For a limited time, Postmates are giving our listeners $5 off your first 5 orders. So you sign up now. $5 off your first 5 orders. It's $25.
For your first 7 days, yeah.
$25 in your pocket. You can buy more burgers or sushi. For your first 7 days, to save $5 on your first 5 deliveries, download the app and use the code IDK. IDK, it stands for I don't know. That's code IDK for $5 off your first 5 orders when you download the Postmates app or sign up online. Anything you need, anytime you need it. Postmates. Now, you can't see him. My assistant, Jack, who's very into music, he's an old soul. Jack's only 21 months old. And no, Jack's very young, but his favorite bands are like the Grateful Dead. He's on a big kick with
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty's his big thing at the moment.
This is where I'm getting my question from.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
Tom Petty. I love Tom Petty. I wrote some of my album with Stan Lynch from Tom Petty and Heartbreakers.
Oh, nice.
Co-wrote lyrics with me on some of this stuff. He's a dear friend of mine for like 40 years.
Oh,
Well, I guess
love Tom. I love Tom. And I got to hug him right before he died. I went to Jeff Lynne invited me to his pre-show ELO thing, and I went back to say hi, and he was with Tom, and I gave Tom a big ass hug. And he looked at me and he said, "It's pretty cool they pay us to play the guitar." And I said, "No shit."
It is. That's my favorite thing about it. My favorite thing to this day about being a comedian is when you go to the airport and they ask your occupation in the form, and I get to write that with no sense of being a smart ass. The only problem that comes along with that when you give it to the fucking customs cunt and he starts going, comedian, have you got a joke? And I'm like, you're going to let me through. Just come on, man.
Oh, no, Jim, it gets worse. Then people come up to me and sing the lyrics of Africa in my face. You know, why are you doing this?
Yeah, you just go, fuck off. Just go back to your band Weezer and leave me alone.
The fucking song in 1981 as like a big production thing. We didn't put it all together before we knew what the lyrics were. And then the lyrics came, we were like, whoa, really? What are you thinking about, Jeff? What are you thinking about? It's such a great track. We said, well, fuck it. We just buried it in the album, and it turned out to be this golden nugget there. Nobody was more surprised than us. It's the least sounding, if you want to say what it sounds like, it doesn't really sound like us. It was a weird, oddball song, you know, and it became this ridiculous carrot. Then it came out the last 5 years. It's gone bad shit. So it's great. It gets the younger people to the shows, and it's really helped our career a lot, you know. So we're having a good time making a bunch of dough, and everything was going great until this fucking pandemic hit.
How did you feel about the Weezer cover of Africa? Did you like it? Just gave the song new life? It's just the problem I have with that cover is it's exactly the same. They didn't change it.
Well, it's not exactly the same. It's the track, but the rhythmic aspect of it, the percussion and all the way the groove feels. They changed that, and they just put some heavy fuzz guitars in the chorus, and he did a bunch of auto-tune vocals, and it sounds great, you know. I don't think he likes me very much, but that's neither.
Oh, really?
Really? Then why would he fucking do this song? I love Weezer. I think Weezer, but he doesn't like you.
No, they're great. We cut one of their songs, and then Universal shelved it so it wouldn't get out.
Wow.
We got Ash by it, but we did a killer version.
That's what I thought. That's what I remember reading was like you guys did a song of theirs back, and then.
Well, we were trying to be respectful. Like we don't know him, but the guy like refused to talk to me. I'd reach out, and it became a joke. So I just said, "Well, fuck it," you know.
So you mentioned
I'm friends with like some of the biggest rock stars in the world, and that guy won't talk to me. Okay, I get it. I didn't make the cut in Hipsterville, man. I never did.
Did you? You mentioned the pandemic. Everything like I know what it's done to comedy. I assume it's worse because. Are you getting asked to do Zoom gigs? Are people like trying to pay you money to play guitar over the fucking internet here?
It's even worse. They're like this thing Cameo where you just a lunch meet and talk to people for $100 and just feel like a whore.
Yeah, Jim refuses to do Cameo.
I won't do it. You want to know? There's a few reasons. I say I won't do it because I'm dignified, right? The real reason is I just know how bad I am at talking to people, and I know if you paid me $200 and then I just came on and went, "Happy birthday, fucking hell, Sharon, you're a bit older."
My 400th one of the day. I'm really excited to be here.
Exactly.
There's people who are really good at it. John Cleese is outstanding at it.
Yeah.
He can rattle them off, like do about 5 or 6 in an hour. He's good at it. Me, I wouldn't be.
DJ does them, and he puts so much effort. He sends them like 8-minute videos, and he's just like touring his condo. Like, this is my antique shelf. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Every now and again, I just do one for free if someone goes, "Oh, my husband's," whatever. But every now and again.
Well, that's different. If you got a good vibe on somebody, that's different.
Yeah.
For sure. Jack, did you have a question?
Jack had a question that's never been asked.
A music production question. When making a record, is there a benefit to playing the whole song as a group like they used to do? Because I know Tom Petty did that, I think, for Damn the Torpedoes. They had just did the whole song as one take versus just doing each instrument solo.
Well, yeah, because you can't write out or program interplay. If somebody plays something unique and interesting, the band follows along. That's a magical take, and you would consider using that as the master. If somebody made a dumb bass mistake, you can fix that, you know. And it's about capturing the magic take, you know. And usually it's right away when everybody before they start thinking about it too hard. You know what I mean? So for us, I mean, we never rehearsed, and we just write out a quick chord chart. Or we'll go, "What are we going to do today?" And Dave would sit down and play some. I go, "I got something. Let's do this one day." And then we just kind of tweak it out and write out a quick chart, and we take 2 or 3 was it, you know. And then we start over. I mean, other people couldn't do that. That's why they hired us to play on their records. because they'd see the red light and all of a sudden fall apart. They couldn't play in time or they couldn't get it together. Some people see that and the pressure of it's too much.
So it sounds like you write the music first, the lyrics second, correct? Because that's what
Generally speaking. I mean, these days, as I've grown up, the lyrics are better. Some of our early lyrics are actually hilarious because we're like,
I do the same thing. I write the laughs first and the joke second.
That's a much easier way to do it.
So if you were a studio musician for a song and then you wrote the music, do you ever get called then by the band when they're going to be recording it live? I mean, they can obviously, if they've got to be good enough to figure it out, or is there ever a time?
Yeah, they got to play my parts. I mean, it's funny when I go see somebody play and that they're playing my parts.
Yeah.
Did you?
It would be like somebody going to see, you go see somebody and they're doing all your jokes that you already wrote, you already did, and you know it. It's not like he stole it. Like, you know he's going to do it, and you sit back and go, that's weird.
Do you were you ever starstruck?
Yeah.
Yeah, who?
Clapton.
Oh yeah, I'd get starstruck by Clapton. I guess.
I mean, I invited myself on. I begged to be on a session because I'm one of my all-time heroes. He was so lovely to me. He was so nice to me.
Is he as good as we're meant to believe? Like, is he?
Well, he's Eric Clapton. You have to understand, when he started, nobody played like that. So by today's standards, you could say, well, he doesn't have that, play fast thing or whatever, but he's Eric Clapton. The tone on Disraeli Gears, I mean, that was life-changing to me. Those guitar sounds, Sunshine of Your Love and all that. I mean, that's just amazing. That was on Top 40 radio. Now, you don't hear that on Top 40 radio.
Yeah.
You could hear that and then What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong and not be freaked out. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I listen to music. I listen to Miles Davis and Slipknot the same day.
So tell us about your album that it's releasing at the end of the month.
It's been a long time since I did a solo album because I've been so busy with Toto and Ringo that when I'm home, I just wanted to be dad. I got 2 little kids and 2 grown kids. And I just didn't have any time or motivation. So when I knew the end of the last version, October 19, that was it. The last show in Philly. We were going to change it all up. Joe and I were going to do solo records. We decided we were going to tour together. It made more sense, and we could do Toto shit. And David Paich, the guy who started the band, he medically can't do it anymore. He's 65, and he got some weird diabetes bummer stuff that he can't change his medication because of a time zone thing. So he can't tour anymore. But he rehearses the band and helps me pick the material, and we do the business together and all that. But so it's Joseph Williams and me, and Joseph's father is John Williams, the film composer. And
that's insane.
That's
insane. That his father's John Williams. Yeah.
Yeah, you're surrounded your entire life. You've been sort of just surrounded by legends like yourself.
Yeah, my father was in the movie and TV business. He was an assistant director.
Oh,
my grandfather was too. So I was a showbiz kid, although I had no interest in doing what they did because I found it really boring.
I think the first time.
Beatle crazy. I just wanted to be a musician. They're like, yeah, sure, kid. Yeah.
Are your grandkids musicians? Are they gone into the business? Are they followed dad?
I have a grandkid yet, but although my oldest daughter's 35, she's trying.
Your grown kids, he's saying. So his son Trev is an incredible musician.
No, my son Trev is a professional musician. He's got a band called Lavara. Got a record coming out. The single's called Automatic. Check it out on YouTube. It's Automatic.
He's
killer.
He's incredible.
It's a very good song.
Tina's actually a really good singer too, though. Like, I was surprised she never pursued it.
But she likes screaming better.
I come from a long line of screamers. Do you think the music industry is alive and well, and are there upcoming bands that you rate, or do you think it's just not? Because I feel personally it's not where it was. I feel like guitar music's non-existent now.
Well, it's there. It's just not getting any press. My son's band Lavara is like the best melodic rock. It's like Journey on steroids. They got a singer that's ridiculous, hooky but still heavy and rock, and it can be played in a dance club. So we'll see. It's coming out. Just coming out, and obviously he's my kid, so I put. But I mean, he's been doing this for 20 years, and this is the first real shot.
And he plays shows with you too. Right? With Toto?
Yeah, we took them to Europe before anybody knew where they were. And they opened up the shows and they won the crowd every night.
Do you think that
most people are like, oh, it's just their kids, you know, we're gonna sit through this shit, you know?
Do you think that music goes through? Have you seen cycles where it goes away and it comes like guitar bands? Because I remember, like, I was living in Britain when sort of like the whole Stone Roses sort of Oasis area came up. Before that, it was just dance music and people popping pills, and it felt like guitar music was dead before that for a decade.
Well, it ebbs and flows. I remember the big scare when video games hit 1980. The music was in a panic because everybody was spending their money on video games.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the bottom's going to drop out. And then there was the phony gas shortage. That was bullshit. You know?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Guitar Hero was going to kill music. That's what I thought you were
No.
saying.
He's talking about Pac-Man and shit like that.
No, I'm telling you, the worst fucking thing about Guitar Heroes, they should have set it up to when you learn it, you can actually play the guitar. But a real guitar player can't play that fucking game.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to your brain. Why would you do that? If you could teach them to do it, at the end of it, they might have a little skill. You know, I mean, it's like now you have a useless skill.
Yeah, there's songs that are harder on Guitar Hero than it is on the real guitar. It's nuts.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean.
So I
if
just
it was that easy, everybody would do it.
I just want to clarify. So I've wasted my time. About once a decade, I pick up a guitar and go, all right, I'm going to crack this. And then I try to learn how to do it. I just have no intuitive way of doing it. I would love to be able to play guitar. And I can play other instruments vaguely. I'm the type of person that can get on piano and vaguely play it. I get the gist of music.
You can play a Beatles song on the piano. I
can play a couple of little tunes, but nothing to write home. I'm pretty hopeless. But I get where the notes are. And I get how they fucking work, right? I understand all that, but I don't have what you call, what's the word? Coordination.
You don't have any chops, man. You got to sit there and practice. Like, this is the tedious part that everybody wants to skip over, but you got to do it. You got to learn your hand and exercises, your scales, dexterity, and then, you know, then you go with it.
I know, but it's just so low down on my list because I still think that I'm going to play rugby league for Australia. And I haven't practiced that either, and so I'm still waiting to crack that.
I think you're doing okay, Jim, man. I think stick with what you got, man.
I tell you what I should call a special: no hidden talents. I show you every slight talent I've got. There's nothing that you go, he's surprisingly good at tennis. I'm not good at anything.
Pinball.
I'm good at pinball. Yeah, I'm good at pinball, but I have practiced for hours and hours and hours. And I put my 10,000 hours of pinball in. I know how to do shit on a pinball table.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Your next special is you playing pinball.
Yeah.
So we mentioned your band with Ringo's All Stars. How do you get chosen to be in that band? Because that's a band full of legends in their own right too.
Great.
How did that get put together?
Well, Greg Bissonette, the drummer, took Ringo's agent and the guy producer who puts the bands together. He picks guys, and then Ringo has the final say. So he saw me playing in Paris at some arena, and Greg brought him. He said, "You got to be in the band." I said, "I want to be in the band real bad."
Yeah.
I play in Pete Best and the Nobodies is the band that I play for.
Pete Best, man.
For people who are listening who don't know, Pete Best was the original drummer for the Beatles and was replaced just before the Beatles got famous, the day before the Beatles got famous.
That's got to be tough to take your whole life, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that would be devastating.
I'm not gonna kill myself.
Exactly.
He went on to be a baker. Like not only was he not a rock star, he had to get up at 5 a.m.
I heard a story, and I heard that when they went to the CDs, the Beatles, and they had some old shit on there, they tightened up old Pete Best, and he got a big windfall.
Oh wow.
He's good. They took care of old Pete.
All right, that's nice
of them. Yeah.
I heard it was because he wouldn't change his haircut. The rest of them are doing the mop tops, and he's like, "Nah, I'm keeping the quiff, man."
Mullet. I want to try this new style, mullet.
It's big in Louisiana.
Who's in the band now? Because I went and saw you guys. I think it was probably 7 or 8 years ago. So that's when I met Ringo, which was awesome.
And Richard Page from Mr. This time it's Greg Raleigh from Santana, the original vocalist and organ player. Me, Hamish Stewart from the Average White Band on bass and guitar. I play bass on a couple of things for him. And Colin Hay from Men at Work, who's just a ridiculously great singer. Wonderful cat. And then you have Greg Bissonette and Ringo on drums and Warren Ham on multi-instrument, keyboards, sax, flute, vocals, the whole thing.
I love Colin Hay. Colin Hay once left me a signed CD
In Orlando.
In Orlando, yeah, because he played the venue the night before me, and he saw I was there, and he wrote me a little message. I've still never met him, but as an Australian, he wrote, "I come from Orlando," and like he's big deal. Men at Work, right? But he's also a great raconteur. He does like one-man shows where he basically does stand-up and a couple of songs. He's done like the Montreal Comedy Festival and stuff like that. Very, very funny man. Very funny man.
Very funny man.
Oh, that sound stopped. Oh, thank God for that.
It was stressing me out the whole time.
I didn't hear nothing. So.
Okay,
Thank
good.
God.
So do the Ringo All-Star Band, do you guys still produce new music for those tours?
Well, it's not the All-Star Band, but we just finished an EP for him. And I worked on a couple of tracks. It's coming out. It's really good. It's called Zoom. It's coming out, I think, about a month or so. And I got to write a song with him and then play on the big New Year's Eve hit that everybody sang on. It was really cool.
When you say Zoom, was it named during the pandemic and you just came up with that name out of nowhere?
It's very topical.
I recorded on Zoom. Maybe we saw them. I wonder, was he there at the John Barbados? Remember?
Yeah, we saw him at the John Barbados. Yeah.
But I don't know if Steve
I was there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking.
I bought a very expensive jacket.
Yeah, we were there, and that's
I did too. Johnny makes some great shit.
Oh, was that the one that you were saying?
I got a silver alligator jacket. Long story.
I think
It's only $6,000.
He must have the same
one of my favorite things was when Ringo stood up on that thing and like Barbara Bach, who, by the way,
was at this venue at this
at the John Barbados. Barbara Bach was there, who's got to be the most smashing looking woman in her 70s you've ever seen.
More granny love.
Oh yeah, no.
She is a beautiful woman inside now.
Yeah. Shit. And so Ringo at one stage he wanted to just like he bought a bit of paper out of his pocket because he wanted to make a political statement, and he went, I wanted to talk about global warming. A lot of people say there's no global warming. Where are these people living? And then he goes, and then he looked over at Barbara and then she sort of whispered something to him and he went, also meditation. It's good to meditate. Then he sang with a little help from my friends. I was like, all right, Ringo, I'm fucking in, man. I'm down.
Yeah, that was such an amazing show. I loved it.
I don't think I've ever met a person say a bad word about Ringo Starr. He's one of those things that in interviews and stuff, like I've never met, well, not properly, but I've never, and he is he as nice as what he seems to be? Because he seems to be the only one.
He's also very, very well read, very intense, and but he's also really fucking funny, like Hard Day's Night funny, and he's really, he's works out every day, runs 45 minutes on a treadmill. The guy's going to be 81, man. He's in better shape than I'll ever be. And he just takes care of himself and he loves life. And the whole peace and love thing is real. He really lives it. It's not phony. He's the real thing.
Well, he was the only one that none of the other Beatles ever bitched about. They all sort of bitched about each other at different stages. And everyone was just like, all right, Ringo. And like that, he seemed to get along with everyone a lot better. But when you say he's 81, like he... sober.
He will be in May, but July. He's only 80 right now.
He sobered up a very long time ago. He was a member of the Hollywood Vampires. Were you ever in that? You might be a bit young, right? You're a bit young for that.
I know a bunch of the guys that are in it that have been in it, but I know I was too young.
What are the Hollywood Vampires?
Ah, Jack, what was the Hollywood Vampires? The Hollywood Vampires were Harry Nilsson, Ringo Starr, John Lennon. There was some other people who sort of came and go. Robin Williams sort of hung out in that type of era as well. And they were all hitting the
Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper, yeah.
Elton John was in it for a bit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and they all used to hit the source pretty fucking hard, and this is before TMZ and all that type of stuff. It was the one where Nilsson and John Lennon got kicked out of the Smothers Brothers gigs because they went along to see the Smothers Brothers at the Troubadour and started fucking heckling, and then Lennon came out with a fucking a period pad on his fucking head that he got out of the toilet or some shit, and then they got kicked out, and then John was just like, well, you know, that's what happens, isn't it? You know, people notice things when you're famous. He's like, they were just picking on us.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they frequented what, the Rainbow Room, wasn't it? I feel like I remember seeing a
was,
documentary.
It was along the strip.
Yeah.
But it's like Johnny Depp's band's called the Hollywood Vampires because of the Hollywood Vampires.
Okay.
That
Gotcha.
they were a group of booze hounds.
So the new album is called "I Found the Sun Again." It comes out February 26th.
Yeah, man. I'm so proud of you, man. Thanks.
Which I think, we just didn't want it. If there was something we were gonna get to it. Actually, it's out now because this will be this.
This will come out.
It came out February 26th. I didn't know if there was anything you wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Well, I'm just real proud of the record. I mean, I'll be giving it a spin. You know, I mean, if you like what I do, it's there for you. If you like experimental, but not too out, you know, it's like, you know, it's fusion-y, but girls would listen to it. Not like the kind of fusion music where you lose one after the second bar. You know?
No, me and Jack sat down yesterday and we had the long listen of it. We actually listened to an hour. It was the first time in a very long time that I listened to an album from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And actually saw how the tracks were meant to be put in that order and stuff like that, and how it all flowed into each other. And I'm like, I realized I've missed that.
Yeah.
And like now, just with going in my car and just going, play this song, and Spotify and songs just picking up and down, all that type of stuff, I've missed the long listen. So that's going to be my new thing at 2021. I'm going to sit and listen to fucking albums in their entirety.
There you go, pal. I like the thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
You know, like, I'm a big fan. I hope I get to meet you in person, Jim.
All right, mate, as soon as gigs are back up, I'll invite you to any gig you want to come to, and I'll just show up at one of yours and I'll knock on the fucking stage door.
That's awesome. Please, you're welcome anywhere. Hey, guys, thank you for having me. God bless you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
This is a lot of fun, man. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye now.
See you, bye.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, everybody, that's the episode. So if you're ever at a party and someone comes up to you and you're talking to a bird in the corner and they go, that doggone girl is mine. Go, well, I don't know about that. And put them in a headlock. Free Britney. Good night, Australia.